Online now, I've got a young lass who's been in music for, well, quite a few years. She hails from County Leash. She's had numerous hits. She's performed not hundreds, thousands of times live at this stage, recorded many songs. Not alone that, as a radio presenter and an all-around good egg in music. I'm delighted to say a big hello, Trudor Lalor. Trudy, how are you?
Jerry, it's great to talk to you. I love the way you said a young girl. I'm delighted with that.
You're only a slip of a lass.
Introduction. Thanks a million, Jerry. Yeah, it's hard to believe. 25 years this year.
Is
when
it?
I first entered country and Irish music. Yeah, amazing. And, I'm loving every single year, Jerry. It just seems to get better because the business itself has improved so much. The love for country and Irish music has expanded all over the world. And it's just wonderful to be part of such a growing industry. And it's great to talk to you tonight.
Indeed it is. And I must say, I actually remember when you started off. Am I correct in saying the first song was Money Talks?
That's right. You're 100% correct. And that was part of a 4-track EP that I did in Hazel Records, which was the Hazel Hotel at that time. That was produced by our great friend and colleague Ray Lynham. And it moved on then to being part of an album, the very first album I did. So at the moment, I'm in the middle of recording my 9th album. So in 25 years, we've done a lot of recording, a lot of different singles. Some of them have worked, some of them haven't, Jerry. But I'm just thrilled that it's been a really learning experience for me for the last 25 years, and I'm enjoying it more now than I have ever done. Oh,
that is brilliant. No, I remember actually getting the single in, because the single back at the time, it was it was the CD, the 4 songs on it, and I remember getting it in distinctly. I remember there was something red, or you were wearing something red, I remember, or maybe it was the outside of the thing was this bright red. I remember that so well. And
because Jerry, when you start out, I suppose I grew up in the family of the youngest of a family of 11, and a lot of my older brothers and sisters would have moved to England at the time and worked in London and Birmingham and Manchester, all over. And so I wouldn't have had anybody that would have been involved in the music business. So it was learning from the word go. And I was lucky enough to meet up with Billy Morrissey when I was maybe within about a year or two of actually getting out on the road, and he was managing me and looking after my career. And I learned a lot from the Irish country music performers themselves, but I had to learn it, and I've learned it from the word go right up to the way it is today. And it's a wonderful business. And as I said, there are songs you release and you think, oh God, this, hopefully this will be the one, and it could be something else from an album that would be the one that would capture people's attention and what they'd want to hear. And people do educate you, and they let you know what they like, and from that I learn, and I'm just feeling totally blessed to be still in the business, 25 years later, Jerry.
Yeah, I didn't actually think it was 25 years. That's taken me by surprise, to be honest. It really has. Wow. Ooh. Yeah.
We're all getting older.
Yes, that's that slight little bit, aren't we? Just now, you've had a number of incredibly successful songs. Lovely Leash, that was incredibly successful for you.
Well, that was on that 4-track EP with Money Talks.
That's right.
And Lovely Leash. When I grew up, obviously I grew up in County Leash, and there was never an anthem song, about the county. Like we had Tipperary had Slieve Them On, and Dublin had its own, and Kildare. There was all songs, for an anthem for a county. And I noticed we didn't have one. And Christy Cullen, who would be a neighbour of mine back home, he was a great songwriter, and he had written this song called Abbey Leaks, all about Abbey Leaks. And I love the song, and I love the words. And Abbey Leaks is a town in County Leash. So I rang Christy one evening and I said, Christy, I'm going recording. I said, it's going to be my first 4-track EP. And I said, I love the song Abbey Leaks, but is there any way I could maybe extend it to the whole county? And he said, well, what have you in mind? And I said, well, what about something like Lovely Leash or something like that? And he said, absolutely. He said, I'll work the words around that and we'll go with that. And thank God, Jerry, the main thing is that the Leash people and all over, thank God, have adopted that now as their anthem song. And it's a song I sing every night, no matter where I play or where I perform, because I'm very proud of where I'm from. Even though I'm living in Tipperary now for the last 20 years, I'm still a Leash girl.
Yeah.
And I feel very proud of the county. And so Lovely Leash was certainly a song that, really launched a lot of, who I was and what I was about and where I was from and what I wanted to do. And the Leash people got behind me, and, the Leash Irish centres as well, all over, the States and over England and everywhere, came on board as well. So it was a very lucky song for me, and it was a song that I'm still delighted to this day to sing.
Right. I didn't actually know that you were the first person to actually record it. I actually thought the song had been, it was the first time I'd heard it, but I actually was of the opinion that the song was possibly from maybe the 1900s somewhere, and it was you had found it. But that is brilliant. I didn't actually realise that.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had some other brilliant songs. I mean, you did a recording with your mum also.
That's right. My late mum, she was 80 years of age at the time, Jerry, and, she was a great lady. She reared a big family, and she always wanted to be, wanted to sing professionally. And she did like local work in local concerts and churches and stuff. But she always wanted to record a song. So when she got to 80 years of age, my own brother had died tragically, and we sang Beautiful Isla somewhere at his funeral. And so many people came up and they said, oh my God, you and your mum should do a song together. So I said to Mum, well, do you fancy, coming in? I'm in the middle of recording an album. Will you come in and do this with me? And she said, oh, no, she said, I'm gone too old. I said, you're not gone too old. I said, come on in and we'll try it and we'll see how we get on. And she was just a dream. I mean, the producers, the engineers were blown away by her. Her vocal was done in the first take. She was just brilliant. And she only passed away there 3 years ago. And I'm delighted I did it, Jerry, and we did a follow-up single, When I Grow Too Old to Dream. And, I'm delighted now. And we did YouTube videos and they're up on YouTube. And so her grandchildren and great-grandchildren can see her, to this day. So it was very, very popular. People, I suppose, who had lost somebody, close to them tragically were able to identify with the words of the song. And, thankfully, hopefully, it did some good for people that were struggling and with, mental illness and depression and suicide, obviously. So, it was a very, very popular song, but it was a song that hopefully did a lot of good as well.
Indeed, it was a lovely, lovely song. I mean, you've recorded a song with Daniel O'Donnell as well, and interesting one is your latest song is a real gem, which I can tell you is going down an absolute storm. And when I received it first, I thought, oh no, it's another version of I'll Tell Me Ma, but it is a cracker. It really is. You managed to put your own stamp on it, together with Mick Foster.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you so much. Well, my grandmother was from Belfast and my grandfather was from Belfast. And they both, my granny's, party piece was I Tell Me Ma. So down through the years, I would have heard her singing it at family gatherings and functions, and she's passed on over 20 years now. And it was a song I always said, and I discussed it with Billy, my husband and manager, and I said to Billy, that's a song I love, and I'd love to record it sometime. But again, so many people had recorded it, so many people had done it in their live performances, but yet it hadn't been recorded in years.
Yes.
So we'd be friendly with Mick Foster and Moira, and Billy actually suggested, he said, well, look, if you're planning on doing it, why don't we ask somebody like Mick, to play accordion? It would bring a brilliant life to it. So Mick was just delighted the minute, we rang, and he said, of course I'll do it, no problem. And so it just worked. It was magic in the studio. We did it in Jonathan Owen's studio up in Longford. And Jonathan, of course, has produced so many of the great recordings down through the years, Indeed. Including Nathan Carter's Wagon Wheel. He was the guy behind that. But anyway, so we went in and we've done a lot of work on this new album with Jonathan. And Mick was just on fire that day. And we just had great fun recording it. We laughed throughout the recordings. And we said, listen, the worst that'll happen is that people might hear it and might like it and great, and it's going to be on my new album. But when we did it, we felt that there was that kind of a lovely, warm feeling of a song that everybody knows, but had forgotten maybe.
Yes.
They may have forgotten the song. for a number of years, because obviously the Clancy's had the big hit with it years ago, and particularly in the country and Irish music vein, you know, it hasn't really been done. I have younger people that have come up and have said, you know, when did that song come out, or where was that song? Where did you write it? And said, it's out here, you know. But it's like a new generation have latched onto it. And look, we put our own stamp on it, you know, hoping that people would like it, Jerry. And thankfully they've embraced it hugely, and we're thrilled. You know, it went to number one on the iTunes charts within 4 hours of it being released.
Yes, I've seen that.
Still at number one there.
Yes, I've actually seen that.
We're delighted. And Mick Foster is thrilled, you know. He said, what does iTunes charts? What's going on, you know? And Spotify, you know, the downloads have been huge, and it's still remaining, thank God. And it's something I don't take for granted, but we've all recorded songs that we thought might be number one in iTunes, or hoping, and this, we didn't know how it would turn out, and yet it just went, you know, straight to number one. So we feel really blessed. And we're thrilled that people are enjoying it so much. And what we're getting is an awful lot of people say, I remember that song. Oh, I used to love that song. Or my mammy used to sing that. Or my granddad used to sing that. And we're getting that, which is wonderful. So it's on the new album. And, you know, we're just delighted. It's out there now. People can download it from iTunes, from Spotify, all streaming platforms. We have a video recorded. We had just recorded the actual song a week before lockdown here in Ireland. So we were very lucky to get it done. And we did the video then through, I suppose, the great technology that is. Mick is in his own home, playing his accordion. And I actually did it live at a TV show. And we were able to, you know, the guys that do all that were able to edit it. And the video will be out now on TV next week. So we're delighted with that.
That is excellent. No, I'll have to say, when I heard it first, I thought, wow, that is just the arrangement, you know, I thought was absolutely fantastic. It really is absolutely brilliant. It sounds a real gem, and it really is for radio stations. It's, as they say, very radio friendly.
Well, thank you, Jerry. And I just felt, you know, we had planned to bring that out in September, because on this new album, I did a duet with Daniel O'Donnell, I'm Getting Over You, which was a song written by Billy Morrissey and Max T. Barnes, Nashville songwriter. And, you know, we had brought that out, and that had got an awful lot of airplay. And we brought another single out then, Word Gets Around. And we said, look, we'll wait till maybe after summer to do I'll Tell Me Ma and bring it out. But I felt people's spirits were quite down. You know, people are, you know, a lot of people are going through a very tough time at the moment. And we felt, well, look, why not bring a bit of energy, a bit of life, maybe good memories to people. And I mean, they're playing it in hospitals. And there's some of the staff, even the frontline workers, are actually dancing to it and posting videos using the I Tell Me Ma. So look, it's hopefully giving people a bit of lift. The weather is gorgeous. It's sunny weather here in Ireland, and I'm sure it is in England as well. And people's spirits need to be lifted.
Indeed,
you know,
so.
They don't need to be reminded of how bad the situation is. And hopefully that's probably a lot of the reason that people have latched on to this song.
Indeed. So you in general, you're a busy lass now. I know that yourself and your husband Billy, you run all various events and holidays and all that sort of thing. Needless to say, that's gone on hold at the moment. But you're still sort of doing bits and pieces and keeping yourself active. You're not letting the grass grow under your feet in any way.
Yeah, well, Jerry, you know, I present a radio show for the last 4 years on Tip FM Radio, which is the national radio station here in this area. And it's every Saturday morning and Sunday morning from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, tipfm.com for people. And we have a lot of UK people that tune in. And it gives me an opportunity to play all my fellow artists. You know, it's country and Irish music vein for 3 hours, where we do requests and dedications, happy birthdays, all that kind of stuff. And I've been doing that for 4 years anyway, every Saturday and every Sunday morning religiously. So that has not changed. And like yourself, with your own radio and with your listenership, you find that there's so many more people even listening now because they're at home, and, you know, they want that company of radio. And radio is a very powerful tool at the moment, because people are not only tuning in for their update on local news and national news, but they want to be entertained, and they want to feel comfortable. You know, they're not feeling comfortable, and they are now feeling comfortable in their own homes by listening into the radio and being able to hear your voice, who they're familiar with, and hopefully mine as well. So as a result of that, nothing has really changed for me in that case. The live shows have all obviously completely frozen. Our events overseas, our events in the Glen Eagle, Billy runs at least 20 events of weekends away throughout the year, and then concerts. He has just finished Margot's tour last year, which was a huge success for Margot. And that's all on hold, for this year. But I just look at it as it's on hold. It's not cancelled. It's just postponed to 2021, because it's very important for people to know that this will end. Yes. A lot of people feel, where are we going to go? What's going to happen? Are we finished seeing our shows? Are we finished seeing live performances? We're not. No. It's just on hold at the moment. It's just frozen at the moment, and it'll be defrosted again in 2021, because these guys are going to get this under control. People know what they're doing. The best people in the world are finding a vaccine, and they will find that vaccine.
Yes.
And life will get back to normal. And we'll look back on this in a couple of years and we'll say, God, remember that time? So it's very important, Jerry, that people continue to record, singers and performers continue to record, because that music, as you know, is not wasted.
Yes,
exactly. And it will help their careers moving on.
Indeed, exactly it will. And you're absolutely right. This is a temporary blip along the way, even though it doesn't seem like that at the moment. But we'll get through it. Trudy, listen, it's been lovely to talk to you again. Lovely to catch up with you. I wish you continued success on top of this one. I'll tell me, man, many more to come. And also regards to your hubby, Billy Morrissey. Thanks indeed, Trudy, for talking to me. Great to catch up.
Jerry, can I just thank you, because from the word go, you've been playing my music. You're such a support of Irish country music. We need people like you. You have been just doing an incredible job, and more so now. It's wonderful now that you're doing it every day, because people want what you do, what you're doing and what you're playing, what you're giving to the society of people out there. You're doing it so brilliantly, and they want it. And you're playing the music that people want to hear. You're mentioning all people that are tuned in, and you're doing an incredible job, and you're keeping Irish music alive over in England. So thank you so much indeed for everything, Jerry. It's been a pleasure. Hello to all your listeners, and we look forward to talking in the not too distant future when we've the album out, and we look forward to chatting to you again, Jerry.
Excellent stuff, Trudy. Thanks a million.
God bless, Jerry. Bye-bye. Bye.